the reason why you suck at real estate is because of hustle culture, not because you're hustling hard within real estate. What do you guys think about that?
Can you explain that in your own words? What hustle culture is to you, or what hustle culture you're speaking of?
So hustle culture in general, whenever I think that term hustle has been turned into something positive when it's technically something negative, right? Hustle is just for you to be looking for your next dollar, where that's coming from. It doesn't come from a business perspective. So hustle culture ends up being you come into real estate, you're focused on real estate, you're not making the money that you want to make, or you feel like it's coming in too slow. So now you start putting your attention into other aspects, whether that be trying to sell something on social media, trying to sell solar, trying to do insurance, moving away your efforts of learning the craft of real estate, diving deeper into it and trying to make money somewhere else, quick money, so you can supplement the money that you're not making in real estate.
Yeah. So when I hear the word hustle, or when I hear I don't know why I just think of, when somebody says hustle, I think of crime. I think of petty crime. Actually, I think of Nike.
Why Nike?
I don't
Just
know.
do it.
Just
do the crime.
Just do the crime.
Just do all the crime.
Just do something.
No. I think I've spoken of that before, right? Where I say, if you slave for two masters, you'll hate one and love the other, right? And I think what ends up happening is that just like you just said right now, everybody's always on this. Well, I'm a realtor, but until I make money in real estate, I'm going to work at XYZ or go back to the plants or do whatever, the refineries, or do whatever, and I always tell people, don't do that. Do all the work that you're gonna do at that side job here, but I just feel that you should never side hustle real estate. Real estate is it's too important. There's too much going on. It's too much. There's contracts. It's people's lives. It's a lot of factors that go into it. It shouldn't be a hustle, and it shouldn't be sold as a hustle. It shouldn't be sold as a side job. People that that have less than even less. I'm even gonna go as far as say, if you have less than 7 years in real estate, you shouldn't be teaching it, and it just goes back to, this whole college culture, right? The problem with college is that, your kid goes to college, right, to these campuses, and they're essentially not really being taught anything. They're being taught other people's views, other people's culture, other people's opinions, and they find somewhere to fit in, and essentially they're not taught by the professors. They're taught by the actual other students that go there, and I think that's what has happened to real estate right now, is that social media and a lot of these eye brokers and they kind of turned real estate into a college campus, to where they brought you in, sold you the culture, sold you the mission statement, and then turned around and turned you into a mentor in less than 6 months or a year, And so it's essentially the blind leading the blind, and it essentially it's hustling, because none of these people know what the heck they're doing,
Let me give you. Hold on. Go ahead, Vic. Go ahead.
When I think of hustle culture, I think of something completely different. If you guys know me and have been around me, when I'm right, I'm right, and when I'm wrong, I could have been right, so I'm still right. Nah, I don't feel that way at all. When I think about hustle culture, I think of the more American saying, like hustle and bustle. Like you gotta keep moving, you gotta keep going. And I can't remember it off memory, but I did a study when I was young. I think I was like in 5th or 6th grade, and it was talking about how a shark doesn't stop moving, and if he doesn't continue to move, he could die. And that shaped my mentality as far as hustling and consistently moving and consistently looking for opportunities and consistently looking for ways to navigate within your business. And I do want to emphasize that you have to navigate within your business. I think it's super important for you to always look for opportunities, to always hear out opportunities, and always have the fire in you to continue to look for those deals and to look for business all around. I've never looked at this business as a side hustle. I think that is a terrible way to describe this business. I mean, this is a career, and this takes time, and you're not going to get everything that you want at a certain time, but it takes a lot of hustle in the fact that you're going to have to chase down a lot of deals. You're going to have to chase down a lot of opportunities. You're going to hit a lot of dead ends. You're going to hit a lot of roadblocks. You're going to lose some money. You're going to lose some opportunities. But all in all, as long as your wins are outweighing your losses, then you probably have a good career here. And you have to keep that hustle mentality. And I'll just bring that back to the most recent meme that went viral a couple years ago that says, you're gonna let a crackhead out hustle you, and that man wakes up every morning. He's looking for an opportunity to enjoy his life, and I enjoy my life helping people and making money. So I'm not going to let anybody out hustle me. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to answer that call. I'm going to do my job. I'm going to show up. I'm going to put in the late hours. I'm going to put in the late nights. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to make sure that I'm successful. And when I think of hustle, I do think of that. And I've had this argument since I was a kid. My sixth grade principal, when I called myself a hustler, he said it was a derogatory term and that I shouldn't look at myself that way. That if I wanted to call myself something, I should call myself an entrepreneur or a businessman or something like that. And that still didn't sit well with me. I think businessmen put people in place to delegate tasks, and I feel that they lose their fire at a certain point. And I think that people that hustle and make money, they never stop. They're always going. So I think that with the right coaching and the right mentality, hustle can be good, but you have to know what you're working towards.
Yeah, definitely. But I think the pushback there is whenever it comes to hustle culture doesn't come down to whether you're working at one thing in order for you to get better at it, like what Kobe was doing, right? Kobe was in the gym while everybody else was at the club, or Jordan was in the gym while everybody else was at the club. You wouldn't consider them hustlers. You consider them professionals at their craft. Mm-hmm. Hustlers is somebody who's trying to do a bunch of different things at once in order to make a certain amount of money. They're just looking for the next thing to make money. That's what hustle culture is. That's the way it is defined. So hustle within your profession, I think it just means that you're just a professional. You're bettering yourself within your profession. So I don't think that hustle correlates with being a professional.
I think that hustle culture that Jovani is talking about came more after the fact that all of this, like, businessmen want to be, what's the word that you love to use? That want to be like mentors. Like, they'll overshare on the businesses that they do, and they always share that to become a millionaire, they had to do more than one business. Yeah. That they have to have like multiple income streams. So I feel like whenever you don't master your craft in one thing and then move to the next one, it's whenever that hustle culture comes, whenever like you get lost in doing everything and not really doing anything at the same time.
Yeah. So I think the word hustler has become a positive thing, right? I think that's the problem. Hustler used to be a derogatory word, and I think that's probably why Victor's the principal told him that, right? But honestly, I don't think you should be hustling. I think you should be working. I think you should be working, you should be learning, and you should be mastering. Mastering is a better word for me. And it's impossible for you to master any career. You can't master real estate if you're also selling insurance, you're also selling energy, you're also selling, Mary Kay. I don't even know if that even exists anymore. But you can't master your sales or your career by doing that. And that's the problem, And this is and I'm so glad that people are starting to notice hustle culture and starting to call it out for what it is, right? Because this is how companies like EXP are still in business, or what their model was. EXP was never after a top producer. EXP has never been after that realtor that kills it. EXP was after all the realtor that closed 1 or 2 deals a year, and all they did was nationally collect all of those pikers, right? And put them all into one and just funneled all that money right up to the top, to the real, shareholders,
But let me ask you this so I'm just going to address the EXP. I'm going to call it out for what it is and for other brokerages. At the end of the day, brokerages have models, and their goal is to collect those monthly fees and their franchise fees and their annual dues. That is their business model, is to collect those monthly subscription fees, similar to Netflix. So if you have millions of subscribers and you're getting X amount of dollars a month, and that is where their profit is coming. They, in my opinion, don't truly care about your success or your not success. They just care about their fees because that is their model. We struggle with that here because we don't want to charge you those fees. We want to take those on because we do care about your success. Sometimes when you don't care, it's kind of hard to make that decision on if I should continue giving somebody something that they don't necessarily deserve or don't want. But back to, even looking up the definition of hustle, we're talking about 6. It has maybe 6, and I'm just scanning at this quickly. It has 6 derogatory terms tied to hustle culture, right? It's pushy, it's roughly, it's straight up hustling somebody, taking something from somebody, finessing them in a sense, and the noun and the verb, the word that I've used it in is where exactly I said the hustle and bustle of the city, which is the busy movement and the busy activity. And when I think of hustle or I think of hustlers, I do think of that. Let's take that into account. Is someone that's only putting a couple of hours into this business, are they actually a hustler? Are they hustling for their money?
True.
I would say they have no sense of urgency.
Yeah, that's true.
That's our number one responsibility, is sense of urgency, not necessarily to hustle or to be a hustler. Your number one responsibility is a sense of urgency and fiduciary to your client, right? So I don't like throwing the hustle word in there and hustle culture, because I think what it's become nowadays, it confuses people, especially newer agents. Yeah. Which makes them think they need to be bouncing around from client to client versus nurturing the client, having a sense of urgency with the client, responding to the client right then, taking care of the stuff, versus being a hustler. Be like, okay, well, this dude didn't qualify today, so I need to go to the next one and get my dollar over here, go over there. And I think that's where it gets confusing.
And that's specifically what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is I'm giving you the scenario. My sixth grade principal. And he talked about a hustler as like a drug dealer on the street corner that's constantly hustling, trying to make $1 out of nothing, right? And in my opinion, I've always respected that ability, the entrepreneurship, to make a little bit of money from here and there. And when he would tell me that and would say that was a bad term, if you think of all, and I think this has been talked about in multiple aspects, not just in real estate or tying into real estate, but people talk about the hustle and the entrepreneurship of your average, neighborhood person. Mm-hmm. There is systems in place, and there's consistent work, and there's consistent markup, and there's consistent, product, pricing, and there's, there's so much that goes into the business. So that's how it was derogatory, in my opinion, back in the day. And when I think of hustle, I think of all those same things, the systems in place that you have to work every day, the checks and balances in the system, the process that you're following, and all that stuff. So I feel the lack of hustle culture is what is people's downfall. Their lack of knowing what to do, having a system in place, and working with people, like-minded individuals that want to win and want to make money and are willing to do what they need to do. I mean, I constantly say, if you want to talk about a hustle or if I need money today, type thing, that we're going to do, is I will absolutely put out some bandit signs outside. I'll get my phone ringing. I'll answer some calls. I'll set some appointments, and I guarantee you I'll make $1 by the end of the week. And that is a straight, hustle, in my opinion. I'm hustling. I'm moving. I'm active in my market with my marketing tactics. I'm capturing those leads and I'm doing my job. And I think the lack of that commitment is the failure.
Do you think that newer agents think that they're hustling by doing things that are like non-producing things, and they seem to be working but really not working at the same time, and that's what really killing their business or not helping them?
No, I think what Nate said is what's killing the business, which is the blind leading the blind. Is they don't have a manager in place to even give them those processes or those systems to be successful. So they don't know. They assume that because they're connecting with people or going to BS networking events or adding contacts to their phone that they're doing the right things. But what are those contacts really worth? What are you really after?
But what you just said right now, right? That's not hustle. That's a strategy and a tactic. That's something that you know and that you teach and that our realtors have access to here. You're saying, and I agree with you that some people are lazy. They don't want to do it. They want to do what Jovani is saying. They would rather hustle. They would rather go and do this and that and the other to make a quick 100 here, 100 there, and 150 there, instead of just putting all their time into one thing and actually working. And that I don't think that's hustle. What you described is not hustle to me. That's work. That's strategy. That's getting it.
What I think that where I think it's some semantics right now, right? Because I think Vick is using the term, which is, this is not what the conversation is supposed to be. Mm-hmm. It's not supposed to be the terminology, right?
We never understand.
It's not supposed to be the terminology.
We're talking past each other.
We're talking past each other right now.
Now we're talking semantics. No, what Nate is saying, he's taking the same way that I see it is the original form of that word. And Vick is taking it from a place that entrepreneurs adapted that word, but there's also the negative side that entrepreneurs adapted with that word. And that's just making money at any cost from any place. Well, when you're talking about your local neighborhood guys who had systems in place, a lot of them didn't have those systems in place. Somebody else was telling them what to do, right? Yeah. There's a real businessman, the people who don't get caught, and they do that forever, right? I want to move actual business away from that aspect because the bad part of that got adopted as well, and it's the reason why this industry is the way it is. It's the reason, in my opinion, it's one of the reasons why we got sued. And going back to like the companies like EXP, I mean, their responsibility is to the shareholder, not to the realtor. So their responsibility is only to collect fees, so the shareholders are happy, not necessarily the realtors, right? Because they're publicly traded.
Yeah. I'm just,
ahead.
And once again, like I said, just defending my point on that aspect. I'll talk about myself 10 years ago in my scenario. And I think I've had this conversation with Jovani, and it was a monetary conversation. It was something that I was taught. And it's, I've never been an ADT door sales guy in my life, but I've gotten a good fair share of $500 referrals from ADT. And those were from connections that I've made from people that want to sell ADT, and I closed on a home. And maybe they were in a not so safe area with high crime, and my client mentioned that he was going to, sign up for some home security, and I connected him with somebody, and I would get a referral from that. Some people would say that is me hustling because I'm making revenue from something outside of my real estate career. The other thing that I would do is, as far as any type of referrals or any type of service-based fees that we, refer with our third-party agreements. As I would do those things, I mean, obviously you give them the opportunity to shop for whoever, and if they still couldn't find or felt uncomfortable and they'd reach out to us, then maybe we'd refer them to somebody and collect a fee here. So everybody would say, or some people would say, in my opinion, are you guys saying, or I guess now I'm asking you guys, would you guys say that is a hustle?
So
I don't consider that hustle.
I don't consider that a hustle. I consider that a referral.
Yeah, I consider that business.
I've talked against those referrals for years. And you know that. Yeah. And I've only talked against those referrals because one is, who you're referring to, right? We don't know those people from Adam. So if they're probably not going to treat our clients the same way we treat our clients, right? That's one. Okay. So you can get a bad reputation just for trying to get a quick $150 referrals. I don't know what they pay now, right?
Would you refer to somebody that you don't know?
No, I would not.
No.
Okay. And so the thing is this. Another thing too, on the second part of that is that if you're given a name and a number, right? You're essentially, you're in breach of, myself, I'm in breach of my privacy laws, right? And then second too, if I take the time to introduce and make introductions and say, use this guy and use that guy, it takes away from my craft of what I really do. What I do is real estate. I don't care about ADT. I don't care about any of that stuff. I don't care what you're going to do after that, right? So that's why I speak against those things. Now,
you
hustles,
don't care about the client after the purchase?
No. Not that I don't care about the client. Not that I don't care about the client.
Hustler number one.
I don't care to feed my client to the wolves, right? Because I don't know what type of service they're going to get. Okay. Now, what Jovani is talking about is a hustle, is that there's actual realtors out there that they're a real estate agent, right? Then they go and get their insurance license. Then they go sign up with this energy brokerage, whatever, licensing certifications.
Yeah.
Then they go sign up for, ADT, to sell ADT. And then they will just, run you down the gamut. What a lot of people don't understand is that each one of those things that they're signing up for is a job. It's a career. It takes time. And if you're taking time to do those things versus, do real estate. I mean, if you're not, I mean, and I'm telling you from personal experience, I'm so freaking busy. I don't have time to do those things. I don't even have time to give a referral because I am actively working at real estate, all aspects of it. And that's what makes me a real estate professional, not a real estate hustler,
It's because I feel like nowadays people also misunderstand really what the hustle is, because they feel like if they're promoting, like, I don't know, I'm going to put an example, like all of these social media influencers that they're hustling into the eyes of all of their followers. Like, really, what does that mean? Are they really like hustling because they're doing their job or what they intend to be their job?
Well, they say I'm helping. I'm saying,
I think the
helping
perfect,
yourself to some commission.
right? I think the perfect example of hustle, which again, this was not supposed to be the conversation, but the perfect example of hustle is Andrew Tate's website. He has Hustle University, right? And that website just teaches you how to make money from a whole different places, but you're not mastering anything. What we're doing, we're trying to be, at least I hope people who get their license, right? You're trying to be a professional.
Yes.
You're trying to be a professional. You're trying to do this long term. You're trying to build something within this career. You're trying to pick up your slice of the market within your community so that people can go to you. They trust you. You're not just coming in, making a quick $500 to $6,000 at one time and moving on to the next person. You're there to take care of those people. It's the reason why, even with like handing out referrals, whenever I do hand out referrals, I don't expect nothing in return. And that's just something that, not that I think that it's wrong to get something in return for that, but the people that I give my referrals to, I know them, right? Like our chick Marissa from Goosehead, right? She's awesome. Marissa. She's awesome. Shout out to her. She's been on the podcast before. It's the reason why I do trust her with my referrals. Same thing with JJ from PHP, but only if my clients ask for it. Only if they ask for it.
Who don't you trust? Like, who wouldn't you give a referral to?
What's that one title company?
Hey, I know there's a property management company that Jovani be trying to throw under the bus that I'll fight him for. So.
Oh man, all the time. It's okay.
That's a terrible property management.
Yeah, I end up doing their job, so it's okay. I feel guilty because it's family on both sides.
Yeah. No, and that what I feel is that these young people come into this business and we've recruited. We like to train, or I've liked in the past to train new talent. I don't go and recruit talent. I like to home grow it here. And I do appreciate a young, hungry agent that wants to be successful here.
Ambitious.
So, I don't consider people to get licenses in 5 other career, paths to be hustlers. I just, I would probably.
It's a collection of licenses and.
Yeah.
So, question, right? Mm-hmm. To go back about 20 minutes into this podcast, if you guys are watching the timestamp here, Nate said something about having a job and doing real estate, right? Now, how can you guide somebody who's new or somebody who's been in the business a while, but they were never able to make that jump to come full time? I know that it's difficult for somebody to see that path of quitting their job and dedicating themselves 100% to real estate. Somebody who has a regular job, gets paid on a weekly basis. Like, what is the path for you to be like, hey, you know what? Look,
we have a solution for that.
You have $10,000 saved or whatever it may be. No. Like, is there a path? Is there a structure for somebody to leave their job, dedicate themselves here, and then give themselves a good, like a hearty try?
Let me say it the way that it should be said, and then I'll let Vic clean it up and say it the nice way he says it. Okay. The thing is this: if you have a job, right, and you want to get into real estate and you want to get your real estate license, by all means, do it. But actually do it. Get yourself a game plan and get out of your get into real estate. You don't have to have money saved to get into real estate. You don't have to have a partner that has a full-time job, a wife or a husband that has a full-time job to support you while you get up on and make money in real estate. You can make money immediately with the right brokerage, the right people, and everything, that can give you all the tools that you need to get into real estate. The thing is this: if you don't see yourself right in real estate in the future, then get out the way and let everybody else that wants to do this, that does this full time, do this job, because you're not doing any justice for anybody that you help out on the weekends or that you help out, just because you have a license, you put your name on a deal. You're not helping those people out. You're essentially just putting your name on a contract and making money. If you are a new real estate agent and you go to a brokerage and that brokerage gives you all your commission, gives you more than 50% of your commission split, and you have no real estate experience, you have a full-time job, then that real estate company doesn't care about you and is not going to care about you. All they want to do is go through your sphere of influence. They are not going to teach you how to do anything. So the thing is that if you're going to do it, commit to it, get with the right people. If you're not, just don't even bother. Stay at your day job.
My advice to people that have a job that are looking to get into real estate, I challenge them, and I love those people, and some great people have come from corporate America that joined real estate and had the taste of freedom. And my challenge is that real estate is not a 9 to 5. Real estate is a nights and weekends and especially holidays type of business. And 99% of the people in corporate America will have those days off. So my challenge to you guys is to make the same income that you're making at your job doing real estate nights and weekends. And I'm not talking about part-time, and I'm not talking about on the side, because you will more than likely be working from 4 to 11 p.m. at night. You will definitely be working weekends, and you will definitely be working holidays. So my challenge is match your salary. Match your salary. If you're making $90,000 a year, match it. If you're making $30,000 a year, match it. And why use that metric? And I tell my realtors and my interviewees and everybody, this is the most disrespectful thing that I'll tell you guys in an interview. And it says, where you are income-wise coming into the business is where you're going to start. So if you're coming from a $150,000 a year job, you are a different type of person than that person that's making $30,000 a year. You're more than likely up early in the morning, maybe working out, maybe getting the house ready, maybe at work by 7, 8, 9 o'clock. You're putting in those long hours. You have a different level you have a different life than somebody that's making $30,000 a year, barely, coming into work late, barely, clocking in on time, leaving, before their time's supposed to be up, just clocking in, clocking out. Your mentality is different, and the way you do business is different. So I encourage you guys to challenge yourself in this real estate career and do those same things for yourself, not for someone else. And 9 times out of 10, the people that are going to be successful in real estate have success when I challenge them on that.
And the $1 million question, Vic, can you match or exceed your salary working nights and weekends and holidays in real estate?
Absolutely.
You can probably double it. I'm going to name drop. I'm super proud of Jerry. Whenever he decided to really drop and quit his 9 to 5 job, or 5 to 5 job actually, and just gone full time in real estate, and with the guidance of like Jovani, Vick, Nate. I mean, he's a year into the business just doing real estate. I mean, that's 100% possible. Like what they're saying, with the right mentorship and guidance, you can do it.
Mm-hmm. So I think where it gets confusing here, right? And for people is a lot of times is they don't get a realistic view of what it means to come into this business. So what Vic is saying, I think it gives you a perfect balance of still having, quote unquote, your safety net and actually realizing what you have to do in this business in order to succeed. So whenever you're working those extra hours on the weekend after you just worked your 12-hour shift, 10-hour shift, whatever it is on your regular job, and you're still doing that to us is going to show us that you have what it takes to come in full time, and those extra hours where you were working is put in more time into this business. And that's what it takes to succeed in this business is treat this like a job. You have to treat it day in and day out like a job. Sometimes even a 7 days a week until you build up your pipeline. A lot of times 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. And what a lot of people don't get pitched whenever they're interviewing or when they're watching these YouTube videos is that this is actual work. You're not, this is not an easy job.
I had a job, you know, and I never really considered it a job, but I had a job before I started my real estate career. I worked in new home sales, and why I never considered that a job is because it was 100% commission, and I had no guaranteed leads, and I had nobody feeding me anything. I was responsible for my own community. 9 times out of 10, we were in the middle of nowhere. You couldn't even find me on Google Maps, and it was all built on directional signs, letter writing, cold calling, invitations, networking events, my process that I do here. So I never felt like I had a job, but I would work at that builder for a long time. I got tired of getting put in crap communities, Hispanic dominated communities that they just kept forcing me to do, you know, a lot of work for very little pay. And I decided to work for, you know, ourselves and really put that, you know, trust in myself. And I would do that, and I would still do real estate. So I would work at the builder from 9 a.m. to 6 or 7 o'clock at night, and my appointments would be from 8 to 10 p.m. You know, and some of these houses wouldn't allow showings after 8 or 9. So I'd be rushing to get over there. You know, I would be off on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and that's when I had a lot of my, you know, client appointments. Definitely, you know, we never had holidays or weekends off at the builder, so I literally had maybe 3 hours a day, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays to try and, you know, show some houses. And on top of that, you know, I was going to college. So I was killing myself all the way through to try and make this dream work for myself. And when I got tired of getting disrespected, you know, a lot of people think these new home sales counselors make a lot of money. I've recently learned that a lot of the commissions are down to less than 1.5% at, you know, for new home sales. And, you know, so they're making less, you know, than 3%. They're making 1% commissions on those things. And they're putting in those long hours. Those were the hours that I was putting in. So I conditioned myself for this business before I really dove into it. And you know, I think it's a good thing to do. You should condition yourself. I think that's super important.
And moving on to another phase, right? Kind of in the same topic here is the reason why a lot of people get disillusioned with this business in general. So you have a realtor who comes into this, well, you have somebody who comes into this business, right? They have a good paying job. We've had actually a few of these scenarios come in and want to interview with us. I want to say it's about maybe 10 in the last year, maybe the last 8 months. People with really good paying jobs, making $80,000, $90,000 a year. And they come in and they say, you know what? I want to become a realtor, right? I'm thinking about doing this. I want to become a realtor with you guys. And the reason why they want to become a realtor is because they want to become investors and they want to do flips.
Yes.
And in my head, as a matter of fact, when we've had meetings with certain people, especially the ones that really trust me and they're asking me questions, I tell them straight up. I was like, if you want to become an investor, you want to become a flipper, why do you want to become a realtor? Yeah. Like, why do you care about the sell side? You have a good job. You have a job. You have good credit. You can leverage that to become an investor, a flipper today, and let us handle the sell side, the people who dedicate themselves to that. Yep. And then you can become the guy who flips with, and you partner up with a real estate company. You don't necessarily need to become a realtor to become an investor or become a flipper. What is your guys' perspective on that?
I say that all the time. Being a real estate agent has nothing to do with being an investor, has nothing to do with being, you know, a property manager, has nothing to do with being a wholesaler, has nothing to do with, you know, doing loans. You know, a real estate agent, it's its own thing. So, you know, I think that's what I find kind of funny. You know, you see these realtors online talking about, you know, building homes and you know, doing investments and buying properties and flipping, and like, you don't need your license for that. Hire a realtor that does that for you, and stick to your day job. Stick to your 9 to 5. You know, like, and just like Jovani said, I mean, we need more people that have W-2s. We need more people that make, you know, a salary so they can buy, you know, and you know, it's just like you know, when the pandemic happened, right, and everybody came back to the job. You know, we had no waiters, we had nobody working at the stores, cashiers. We had nobody was doing the work anymore. Everybody became an instant, you know,
entrepreneur,
social media success, you know. And slowly but surely, we're starting to see everybody get back to their day job, and I'm happy because when you go back to your day job, it gives, you know, all the clientele comes back to the professionals, which is us. You know, we're not gonna, you know, do the song and dance. We get to work here. We don't hustle. We work here.
Yeah, and I do want to set this up, right? I want to set this pitch up for Vic here. It's not saying that if you are a realtor within this company that you're not going to learn how to do flips or investments for yourself. It's just that a lot of realtors, in my opinion, they use real estate as a stepping stone versus a foundation. Real estate is not a stepping stone to get you to, quote unquote, to where you want to be, right? Especially if you have a good paying job that can get you there anyways already. Real estate is a foundation. It's going to revolve around everything that you do. Where you plan on taking your kids to school, where you're gonna live at, where you're gonna put all of your money into. Real estate is gonna be your foundation. I mean, even to what we're doing right now with the podcast, right? We're not just talking about random topics. We're talking about real estate. So even if you want to be in media, for a lot of people who know me, I was in bands and stuff. I like being in front of the camera. I'm in front of the camera right now, but just talking about real estate. You
were in what?
He was in band.
Band?
In bands.
Bro,
you were my main supporter. You went to my second show. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah.
He said, "Oh, that little thing."
I thought that was like a lip syncing contest.
First of all, I did not have my vocals in the background. I memorized all my lyrics.
I thought it was a charity talent show.
Thought it was a charity talent show, bro.
Do not disrespect me.
Go ahead.
Do not disrespect me. But I want to set that up for Vic to pitch it, right? Because it's not that you're not going to learn how to do that here. It's just it's not going to be, quote unquote, your main goal.
Yeah. Well,
or you can phrase it however you want.
My mission statement is to create wealth in real estate, and I'm going to do that through the real estate agents, through real estate agent training, support, and education. And we are going to get you there at one point in time, but there's so much work that you have to do before you get there. The way you comp properties, the way you analyze deals, the way that you are able to sell a property. There's so much work that goes into it. And I can't give you a timeline as far as how fast you can do it. I mean, here at our brokerage, we do take time to consider the talents that you have, and we move people up if you can or not. But that is what we do. We want to take our time with everything. And ultimately, yes, I want my realtors to have investments. I want my realtors to buy, rental properties. I want them to have wealth for themselves in their future. I do want those things for them, so I will never hinder them or guide them the wrong way. But for you to come in week one and want to do that today, there's so much that goes into it for me to be able to tell you yes. And I will even tell you this, just because you have money doesn't make you an investor. It does not matter. There's a lot of things you need to learn. And that's something that we don't shy away from here, which is the hard work. We don't shy away from the hard work, the education to get you where you need to go.
All right. And I think that's a good place for us to exit out on. Unless you guys something else you want to say about that?
Me and Flor has something to say, but I guess you want to...
You didn't say enough on the Spanish?
Damn.
So, yeah.
What do you have to say, Nate? Say say with your chest out.
Nah, man, y'all don't want to
say it with your beautiful Ralph Lauren shirt.
Y'all don't want to hear. Jovani got made fun of for dressing with Ralph Lauren clothes today.
That
and I was like,
wild.
what?
That was wild.
I said, those are classics, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Vic actually told me to embrace the fact that I like Ralph Lauren so much, and I walk into the office and I get made fun of for wearing Ralph.
I
think it was the jeans that threw it off.
I think the funniest
that is part of the fit.
The funniest part is the guy that made fun of him for wearing Ralph Lauren clothes was wearing Shein clothes.
Oh my God.
So, I don't know.
That is horrible.
I didn't know that.
It could have been Timo. I don't know.
Looking at Nate's shirt, that looks like his perfect shirt. It is a perfect mix of Ralph Lauren and Cadillac, his two favorite brands.
Yes.
Now
you should get a hat like that. That would be a nice hat.
A lot of people don't know. I lost my Escalade.
It's been a tough time.
Yeah,
he said, "Pour one out for my Escalade."
It's a tough time right now. I've been driving around in a Malibu and I just don't get the same respect.
Bro, we were in the Malibu the other day and we were rushing and I told Nate, put $5, bro. That's like a week worth of gas.
Dude.
We put like $10 in.
I almost filled up that car. I was like, what the heck? I said, maybe I'm in the wrong.
Like 25.
Maybe we bought the wrong car.
I said, maybe we bought the wrong car. Maybe I need to buy a Malibu.
No, we literally put $10 into there and that thing was like almost full.
It was almost full.
I used to have a Malibu and I loved it.
Really?
Me too.
Yes,
I had a Malibu.
yes.
Yeah. I had a purple one.
I drank a drink that had Malibu in it once, but that's about as close as I got to a Malibu. But yeah, so I mean, I feel like
Oh no, I had an Impala. My bad. No,
I
no,
feel
my
like
bad.
we ended up. I feel like we ended in a disagreement, right? I think we ended in a. We did not agree on what hustle really stood for. Can we all agree that hustling, is in our industry, at least for our industry, hustling is a negative word in our industry.
Look,
I mean, what I understood
you
was-
minorities can feel that way, but as an American, it means hustle and bustle, and I love it.
That's what I. As a matter of fact,
I
that's what I was
saw
gonna say. 'Cause
the hustle bus.
from what I understand, what Vic was saying is just watch Narcos and you have a real estate game plan.
There you go.
Hey,
what I
you know what, bro?
understood.
That's what Nate did.
That's where I got my business plan. Hey, seriously. So if you think about it, right? Before I got into real estate, I used to do the same thing that I do now. I meet, with my agents. I put beefs out with other crews. Sometimes I had to go to Mexico and do some, and talk to these investors down there. And, so I mean, essentially I'm doing the same thing now, right? So yeah, I guess it
Yeah,
translates.
but what was happening back then is not what's happening now, and that's the problem. That's the exact problem. So
Okay.
we're gonna.
I will say from you guys' perspective and the way you guys explained it, you guys looking at 4 different career paths and calling that a hustle culture, that is not what I interpret a hustle culture as. But I do get that. I do get that people always looking for different opportunities. There's never going to be the right opportunity if you don't dedicate your time to it. Nate said it best when we started. You can't slave for 2 masters. You sure as hell can't slave for 4 of them. There's no way.
Definitely. And I will tell you this: thank Vic for Lionsgate Realty's culture the way it is right now. Good or bad, it's giving opportunity to a lot of people, and a lot of people have made a lot of money here because. When I started, working in this business, I also had that dream of, hey, you know what, I want to help out, the people that are getting taken advantage of, et cetera, et cetera. But then after a while, it just kind of got to where people just didn't really, appreciate what I was trying to give to them. And then I just got into that attitude of like, you know what?
Maybe I should take
That's
advantage.
why they keep taking advantage of them.
Yeah, because I mean, I can literally right now just recruit 1,000 real estate agents, charge them a flat fee, and ignore them all day, and they will love me for it, and they will give me many years of service. And I mean, I could get all my dues at the beginning and make myself $2-3 million and be all over the world, paying for my vacations,
There you go.
So
I want to be on a yacht with you in Florida, like that one dude talks about his broker. So
Facts, bro.
we can do it.
Facts.
We can do it, man. If y'all want to listen to me, but y'all want to help the people, and y'all want to be
after 14 years in the game, I think I might be ready for
deserve
you
for
might be
the yacht.
ready.
You deserve
might be
it.
ready to clean house, man. Might be ready to go the ROA way.
There you go.
All right, let's go ahead and exit out. Vic.
Yes, I'm Victorino Cortez with Lionsgate Realty. You can find me on Instagram at Real President with an E. And I do. We are looking for agents. We are creating a great culture here. We have a lot of opportunity, and hopefully, if you join our brokerage, you won't have to hustle and do 6 different careers, just one.
Flor Velasquez with Lionsgate Realty. You can find me on my social media as Flor Velasquez Realtor, and then I'm the host of the Spanish podcast. I do speak in there.
So my name is Nate Valderas. You can find me on my social media outlets at Better Call Nate. And if you're ready to work and stop hustling and make money in real estate, then come see us and come join us. Get an interview, see what you have, but come here with something to offer. Don't ask us we already have what we have. What do you have to offer to add to what we have here? That's really what we're looking for. So just let us know.
And I am Jovani Frank, your gracious host. You can find me on IG as Jovani_Frank. I am a manager here at the Lionsgate Realty office. And we do have our podcast. It lands every single Thursday at 11 a.m. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, and you follow us. And like how they said, we're always recruiting. Also, we're looking for guests to come onto the podcast. If you're in business, if you're in our business, even better, and we can put you on here, talk a little bit about what you do and how you can help us and help everybody else. Until next time.